Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for yet another beer review. Yes, 2 in 1 day, but they will not be coming up on the same day. uh, and the state of my beer collection at the moment is so bad that I'm basically reviewing everything that everyone else has sent me. So there's nothing really I've got to review. I've got the keg of Singer and Peroni, which I'm going to get bottles and do like keg versus bottle thing, but otherwise actual beers that I've just gone out and bought, I have nothing. They're all from somebody else, and that means this one is one of them as well, and it's another one that my mate Simon Red Devil sent me or gave to me, and it's another homebrew, and it's a homebrew from Muntons, and it's their West Coast IPA, which he has bottled, and it's coming in at 7% ABV, 500ml bottle. Do you know what? I've not asked him how much it roughly costs for him to brew this or anything. Probably £1 a bottle, if not less. It contains Chinook, Columbus and Summit hops. There's the crown. Now he wants these bottles back because he saves him buying any more, which I am saving them for him. Now, he did tell me something. I think his brother had one of these, and I'm not sure if he told me that it was all right when he first had it, when he first brewed it, and then it went a little bit potent, or the beer is going to go wild. I'm not sure. I've got a feeling it's either the beer is going to be really strong or something's happened, I don't know, or the beer is, I'm going to open this and it's just, you know, I'm going to be redecorating in 2 days. I don't know, but we'll get it cracked open. It's nice and chilled, so I've done that side of it. It's going in my White Hag. I'm going to call this my generic IPA glass. Let's get this cracked open, see what we get. I know he uses normal tap water for this. Please don't go. No, but it hasn't gone wild. I know he uses normal tap water and he conditions it. So I'm looking forward to it. That is looking very, very, very good. Are you really home brewing this shit, Simon? And I mean that in a nice way there. Look at that. Oh, wow. I'm getting a big sort of like grapefruit westy note. Again, feels like a homebrew. I'm getting that aroma like I had of the West Coast double IPA that I've done on the Pinter. But looking at that, look at that. A slight subtle haze to it. It's very much a sort of West Coast look. How do you describe it? Amber? Golden? I don't know, but it's got that sort of westy look. There is a little bit of carbonation coming up the middle of the glass, which looks good. We've got about 1.5 fingers of sort of mix and match head at the moment. Give it a swirl, that sort of compacts it all down, if you like. Look at that. Looks very decent, it's got to be said. There is a bit left in the bottle. I won't put that in yet. I'm going to see, I'll give it a swirl and see if it hazes up anymore when we get down it. So excuse me, there we go. That's what it looks like. Let's dive in on the nose and see what we get. Oh yeah, resinous, big resinous. A little bit orangey, and again, this doesn't, it's got the same sort of aromas I get from my Pinter, but not so in your face, and it's a nicer smell. Now, again, I said on the other video, or one of the other videos, is it down to me brewing? Is it me not doing everything perfectly? I don't know. Is it just a brew kit? Who knows? But there's less of a sweetness to this, and it smells really good. Resinous. A little bit of grapefruit orange note. Is there... There's maybe an inkling of like a little bit of an ethanol aroma, an inkling of it, but I wouldn't say it's there. I mean, but at the moment, really smelling it, there's no way you would think this was 7%. It sort of smells trad stroke craft rather than full out sort of like craft or full out trad. But yeah, smells pretty decent. Let's dive in. A big thank you to Simon once again, Red Devil, and the Muntons West Coast IPA, 7% ABV. Cheers. Oh, quite busy in the mouth. It is quite busy in the mouth. And I'm getting quite a sharp, strong taste behind it. That said, I'm not going to say, certainly not off the first mouthful, I'm not going to say it's bad. Definitely not going to say it's bad at the moment. But there may be little things with it that I'm not so keen on. It's a homebrew. Let's not knock the lad before we start. Let's go in again. Okay, for me, now, like I say, homebrew, if this is something you're going out and you're paying £3, £4, £5 a can for, then you can pick bigger issues with this beer. It's not. I will say the beer feels a little bit light for 7%. Now, I'm being critical, but it's a homebrew. It's not thin, it's not watery, but it does feel a little bit light considering it's 7%. That said, it's not thin or wishy-washy. The carbonation is quite busy in the mouth. I've got to say, if the carbonation was a bit less, he's not a professional brewer. This bloke is just doing homebrew. If the carbonation was a bit less, I think you would get away with the body of the beer because it would feel a little bit smoother. The carbonation, it's smallish bubbles, but it is still quite busy, and it does add a little bit of a roughness to the beer. That said, if I brewed something like this, I wouldn't exactly be completely moaning about it. Yeah, behind that carbonation, the liquid feels quite smooth and pleasant. And I do actually think, yeah, the body would feel a lot nicer without so much carbonation in there. I'm going to be totally honest. Let's get on to the taste. Taste. You get that resinous. I don't want to say it's piney. I don't feel like I'm getting a pine sort of thing from it, but I am getting that resinous feel, a little bit oily. Orange, lemon, zestiness. It is quite sharp. I'm trying to think if I'm really getting the grapefruit in there or getting a grapefruit sort of feel or maltiness. I'm going to give this a stir and see what difference we get. My word, that that has massively changed. Now you can't see it at the moment. Now that is very hazy, but now I said it looks just like a West Coast. That haziness. Now I know West Coast doesn't necessarily, I know they're not necessarily hazy. Some you do get are, but it's giving it that more of that sort of colour, I'm going to say, of a West Coast, but just without the clarity. So it's looking a lot more like it. The bottle has been sitting there for a bit, and there's still a little bit of sediment in there. Pardon me. Let's go in again. And that's maybe added a little bit more of a West Coast feel to it. Let's go in again. Definitely a warm in there, I'm going to say. After that one, that felt like there's a bit of a warm in there. Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's definitely added a bit extra putting that in. But it does feel a bit more West Coast. Beforehand, that 7%, it's funny, didn't feel anywhere near there. Giving that a good stir and a shake and a pouring in all the gumption at the bottom, it certainly feels stronger. I think it does leave you with a little warming. Bigger note of orange, I'm going to say. There may be a tickle of grapefruit in there. It's not bad though, to be honest. It ain't bad. It really ain't bad. And once again, with this one, what I like about it, even though it's homebrew, and homebrews must have this, you know, when you're buying the kits, this standard sort of taste. It has less of that sort of taste than I get from some of my pint of brews. Now, that could be the quality of the brewer, the kits, I don't know. But it has less of that, and it actually makes it a more enjoyable experience, to be honest. 7% is a little bit more noticeable in it. Getting all that sediment in, whether the beer is just dying down because it's been opened, but the carbonation doesn't feel so in your face now, and it is making that body feel a little bit better. Yeah, it's not a bad drop. It really ain't a bad drop. I mean, it's hitting a lot of the notes. I'm going to say, yeah, I was going to go, it's more traditional West Coast, but there is, for me, I don't think there's that maltiness there. No, there's not enough maltiness in this to edge it more towards a traditional one. I'm going to say it's sort of stuck in the middle. So it's not quite trad, it's not quite craft, it's sort of draft, I don't know. But yeah, it's not a bad drop, to be fair. So well done, Simon. That's a good effort, that is. I could be overcritical. We all could, couldn't we? But ultimately, that really isn't a bad brew, to be honest. So Muntons Homebrew Kit, West Coast IPA, 7%. I'm going to give it a thumbs up because it really ain't that bad. Is it the greatest beer in the world? No. Would I rather drink that over fucking Carling? Absolutely. So there you go. There's my thoughts on this. If you're a home brewer, give the kit a go. If you've had the kit and you've brewed it, and, you know, let me know your thoughts. Feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Once again, a big thank you to Simon, and I'll see you again soon on another one. Cheers.